Arknights is such a unique game. How popular do y'all think Arknights is? The future of Arknights. That will save everything. Hello, Viper. What are we talking about today? That's a good question. We're going to be talking about the state of Arknights. We're going to be talking about content creation within Arknights, as well as the future of the community. Whatever I say tonight, this is very much my own opinion. I want to have a discussion out here. If y'all have completely conflicting opinions, I'd love to hear them. And that's why this is very much going to be an open forum. Do y'all think that developers want to cater to free-to-play? Or do they want to cater to whales? I would say that whaling usually equates to a stronger character and stronger team, or you're paying to advance quicker. I think that's the classic definition of whale. As a gacha game developer, when you release new events, it is so difficult to make an event that is fair to everyone and challenging to everyone. What does a developer do? Do they focus on an event that is playable by all players, make it super easy, which is fucking boring? Or would you rather make an event that is extremely hard? The main takeaway is that it's very hard for a developer to cater to one or the other. Oftentimes, the developer is very friendly to free-to-play because they're going after one thing, and that's exposure, right? You want to make the event fair for all players to play. And thus, you have a lot of whales and reoccurring players lacking content. And that's a very big issue. But I think that Arknights has like a super unique system that essentially it basically blends both of the arguments. I would say that Arknights is pretty challenging to both free-to-play and whales. I'm a whale, and I can agree that whaling in this game can make the game easier. For example, like Genshin Impact, a game where if there is very difficult content, a Ganyu will absolutely destroy the game. It will get you Spiral Abyss 9-star every single time it resets. And on top of that, the Spiral Abyss gives you a ton of premium gems. But if you are free to play, how many more months do you have to wait to get that? Even though whaling makes the game easier in Arknights, all the content has been essentially made possible for 3- and 4-star teams, as seen by Kyostin V and Equigen. On the concept of beating the game, I don't think you need a whale. I would think that whales want to invest in a game where their spending actually makes them better, right? So, do y'all think that's an issue for Arknights? Oh, I've seen a lot of no's. Why is that not an issue for Arknights? I like to hope not, as whales are whaling for characters and skins rather than actual progress in Arknights. That's true. I would say across the many reasons people whale in a game, it is for more optionality of gameplay. No, we whale for waifus. Before I ask the last question on this particular topic, how popular do y'all think Arknights is around the world? Not very, not very, not very, not very, but you see, a lot of people are saying not very, but isn't it interesting how we just discussed how Arknights is such a unique game? They're like one of the few games in the market that is able to cater to both free-to-play and whales. That's such a unique experience. That's something that, honestly, free-to-play players think about. Again, go back to the concept. Most of the players are free-to-play in these free-to-play games. It's called free-to-play for a reason, right? Most of these players want an experience where whaling is not going to put you ahead. So why is Arknights with such a unique game style that caters to all kinds of players not popular? It's because of lack of exposure and terrible advertising. Is that really it, guys? I feel like naturally a good game will, it might have good advertising, but a good game will attract players naturally. Think about a fucking Among Us, guys. Guys, when Among Us came out, did it have any marketing? No, it didn't, guys. They just literally had some random people play it, and then which had more random people play it, and then which had more random people play it, and then you have Soda Poppin' play it. And once Soda Poppin' played it, literally everyone played it, and then OTV played it, and then Toast became a legend. You don't need a ton of marketing for the game to succeed. A naturally good game will eventually get noticed. I do want to focus now on content creation. Content creators are becoming more and more powerful every single year. And I think if you look at a lot of examples, it's very, very clear. It's not just advertisements, Grubhub, Logitech, HyperX, it's not just the ads itself, but it's also just like games reaching directly out to players and sponsoring them to play their game. They have such a huge influence over a game's success nowadays. If y'all think about like the biggest events that happen on Twitch, I'll name a few, for example. I think, for example, Ludwig's Fall Guys competition. Think about how many streamers he invited, the massive prize pool, and then how many people stream Fall Guys at one time? Hundreds of thousands of people watching. Do y'all understand how powerful that is for a game community? Just the amount of viewership on that one day. And on top of that, I think yesterday, Disguised Toast held a hide and seek tournament in Apex Legends. I don't know if y'all saw that, but if y'all were aware on Twitch, literally every other famous content creator was streaming Apex Legends. The category had like 300K, I don't know how many people, but they had so many viewers. You literally have 300,000 people that probably, you know, some of them probably never even played Apex. They probably just watched that specific content creator, and then they suddenly watch Apex. They get exposed to a game that they may not ever would have been exposed to, right? And so that exposure is just so important. My takeaway is I really think that nowadays, creators are the lifeline to a game, but at the same time, developers are like making their games cater to content creators. If you think about a game like Among Us, right? Why was Among Us so popular? Why did this guy's post Among Us videos for over a year and get almost like basically 1 million views on every single video? It's because you're able to create so much content with a game ecosystem like that. Game developers nowadays don't fucking give a shit about games that don't have longevity. Why would you create a game that you play for like 3 hours and then stop playing? Why don't you create a game like Among Us, where streamers can stream it to each other, they can play with other content creators, and they will create infinite content? Because collab meta is massive on Twitch. Nowadays, content creators are literally real-life celebrities. Ludwig, Disguised Toast, OTV, OTK, all of those massive content creators that have such an influence in the game industry. And I just want to say right here, just very clearly, AK does not appeal to content creators. It does not. But it's not just about AK. I think gacha games do not appeal to content creators. I think that's the main takeaway, and that's a big issue. During events, we do viewer summons, we do event playthrough, and then we also do handholds. And then I'd say in a dead week, we do account reviews. We do handholds for whoever the fuck needs a handhold. And then we can like maybe do tier lists. Just stop and look at this list. There's no content for live streamers. Maybe I'm just biased because this is what I do and what I see other people do. But I think it's pretty obvious that during an event period, you just do viewer summons, and then you do event playthrough, and you do handholds, right? Look, this, you'll see right here, this takes maybe like 2-3 hours max. All I want to say out of this is that because this is the extent of content for Arknights, dude, there's like nothing to do. How can we sustain our content creators here if this is all you can do? Let's talk about YouTube. What kind of content do people make on YouTube for Arknights? We see a lot of Zoomer memes, guides and memes, YouTube videos, guides, memes, and lore. We definitely have lore, yeah. Flex runs, CC content. I mean, of course we have event content, right? But I think in general, I would say we have like guides, and guides can encompass beginner guides, advanced guides, Chaos and V Ecojin style. And we probably have just like general news. We have stage clears, I would say, just people doing random stage clear content, summons, and viewer summons, I don't know. And then of course we have a massive meme. I'm gonna bold a meme. I really like what YE is doing, because he's not necessarily creating meme content, and he's not making news content. He's very much creating a commentary on different aspects of the game that no one covers. It's a very interesting and refreshing take. So I think we need more content like that. But if you look at this is the kind of content that we are limited to on YouTube. And I think meme content is like a vast majority of the views, guys. The one thing I do want to make very clear is that Arknights viewership is actually not that good. I mean, who the fuck am I lying to, guys? Most viewership for games is probably not that good. The only games I recently saw with a lot of good viewership on YouTube is like Genshin, maybe Cookie Run Kingdom, because it's a very, I don't know, it's a new and revived game. But I think games including Arknights, Girls Frontline, PGR, Blue Archive, Azure Lane, the communities they're not thriving. If you are looking to grow as a content creator, these things are very important to consider. If you're doing for a passion project, hey, I respect you, and I think you should be doing what you're doing. It's not for the money, it's not for the growth. You're just here because you love Arknights. And I think there's a lot of good content creators that do that. If y'all think about Talk Des, massive respect to this man. This man's probably one of the most creative people across the entire gacha gaming spectrum. This guy makes super unique content that no one else does, and he gets massive pull in Arknights. And then people ask him, why doesn't he go to a more appealing category? Because hey, he loves Arknights. So again, this does not apply to people like him. You know, I'd say Cookie freaking loves the game. He can probably go to another category and succeed the same exact way, and probably, you know, much more. But he loves Arknights. But the goal of a category is we want more content creators. More content creators makes a lively game, and it basically spurs the success. I think this kind of does lead us to the final thing I do want to cover tonight, which is the future of Arknights. I do have a take on how we can keep Arknights alive in the future. The future of Arknights content creation is collabs. Content creators reaching out to other content creators and doing fun stuff for the community. It's about content creators being able to feel connected to a lot of other content creators. If anyone can study the Genshin Impact content creation community carefully, dude, there are so many small niche friend groups within that community. It keeps them alive. And just that small connection, maybe it's not true, but just that small connection can keep them attached to a game. Right now, because I am very connected to the Arknights friend group, I'm happy to hang out with them outside of streaming. I love Arknights. If I was a solo streamer and I didn't have those friends, dude, it is very hard to just be like all goody two shoes and happy about Arknights all the time. I think you very much need an ecosystem where the content creators feel loved and they feel connected. And that's why I think that the future of Arknights content creation, from the content creator's perspective, it has to be collabs. It has to be. And it's not just about like NA streamers collabing with NA streamers. It's about like me trying to collab with like people like Rapid, right? People like Rapid, people like Cookie, people like Seseth. That sounds very, very ambitious, but I think it's possible. And it doesn't have to be done by me. Literally any content creators can do it. Regardless, I'm very glad that y'all participated in this. I think this is something that it's not necessarily that people need to know about, but if you are thinking about Arknights and you are very invested in the community, I think it's very important to just be a part of what the community is thinking. You want to be thinking about what content creators are doing, and you want to know if your game will have a good lifespan for you to enjoy it. If you are here today and contributing, I love it, guys. I love it. So, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you.